Alright everybody, we are back for some more Pokemon Silver. It is I, Xilestar, and today we're going to be going through more of the game. So I did do something like I said I was going to do. I changed the Ho's name. I changed it to Holium. So like Ho is the part of the Ho part, and Liam is like Helium, because I thought that would be really interesting to name it that way. Anyway, so this time we're going to continue with where we left off, which I think we beat Whitney. I should probably know because, like, I literally just almost finished uploading the last session, so I kind of need to do this now. Also, I want to mention this too before we continue. I did take a look at how long the last, or not the last session, how long Pokemon Gold's second session was. It is 6 videos, so this one will be 6 videos. I don't know if I promised I was going to do an 8 video session this time. I'll definitely do it next time when I have more time. Right now, this is more of a desperate attempt to kind of just get more videos kind of thing. So I apologize, but I kind of need it. So yeah, so right now we're just going to continue onward. I think I need the squirt bottle. I think it's this house. No, it's not this house. It's the one above it. It's this one. Yeah, I think it's you. Better than Whitney. Do you know what about the moving tree? You went with the squirt bottle attacks. Since you have some badges, you should be okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna try and get as far as we can now that we have a legendary bird with a nickname now. I can't remember if I nicknamed this starter before. If I nicknamed the starter before I changed it into Leisure, or if I changed it after. Now, somebody could just end up asking me, like, hey, why didn't you just, you know, change the starters all to be Ho or all to be Lugia? Because, first of all, I don't know how to do that. Second of all, I don't want that to screw up something else. Like, I don't want it to change a trainer from having 3 Pokemon to 4 kind of thing. And if there is a way to kind of change it so it doesn't do that, I still wouldn't trust it, because I would be like, does that trainer literally have like a level 35 Suicune on their team kind of thing? And then look at it and go, no, they don't have that. Like, that's very strange to me. Meryl. Alright, Gust again. I think this was around the time where we just started using other moves instead of our Aero Blast for Leisure, which was funny. So nothing's really new, for the most part, for the channel. I've been noticing a recent surge of views for a lot of my videos, which is amazing. Let me go pull it up here so that I can easily just... Yeah, I still want to keep the level of the audio. There we go. Okay. This is going to screw me over a little bit, but it's fine. Yeah, so like a lot of my videos now are getting like in towards like the middle group of like getting up to 20 views average now, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong, I love that, but like it seems like more of the Pokemon content is getting huge, or the Pixelmon content is getting huge, which I can kind of see why. And then the Oblivion content is kind of just riding that wave a little bit. But it seems like it's the only thing that is underperforming. Yeah, it's like the only thing that's underperforming. Oh my word, man. Seriously? Alright, so I don't check my views on my videos that much, which, judging by this, I actually should. Yeah, which judging by this, I should actually definitely give it a definite like look through all the time. Cause literally the completes for Pixelmon have like almost dominated the entire charts on my end. Like, oh my god, they're like three, like between like, okay, so the top 5 viewed videos of the channel, 3 of them are Pixelmon, like Pixelmon adventures. Top 5. But the one thing that the top 5 has in common, they are all Pokemon content. Well, 3 of them are Pixelmon, but you get the picture. Like, they're still Pokemon in a way. That's insane to me. Oh my god. That is interesting. And the thing is that, like, if you've watched the normal videos, the complete doesn't give you a difference. Like, it doesn't give you, like, a different perspective. It's the same perspective, just that instead of you having to load, like, 6 videos, you only need to load 1. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all it is there for. I still can't believe that. Wow. The second video to hit 1,000 views on the channel is, I think, the second time we did a 1.16 Pixelmon Adventures. That is insane that got so hard. I think it's because of the title, right? The title got people's interest. Like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, because even part 10 has like, so Pixelmon Adventures Complete Part 12 has, it just hit over 1,000 views. It's at 1,009. Part 10 has 761, and Part 9 has 419. That is interesting. And then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Mysterious Shards has 508, which is about as normal as I thought it was going to be. It was second for a long time. And even like, and the one that still dominates my viewership, like my view count, even though I have no idea why, Pokemon Legends Arceus playthrough part 21. Why did this thing blow up? I have no idea. And all I did was I looked through a certain section of the video, found something that looked like it would be pretty interesting. I think I looked in like the first 5-10 minutes, I think, and then or not 5-10 minutes. I think I looked within like the first 2-3 minutes, and then I found out that I went into a location called Orborough Tunnel, and I was like, oh, that could be the title. Type it in. If I knew that it would blow up like this, I'd probably still do the same, but I wouldn't be as surprised. Because the tunnel is not like a hidden location or anything like that. Like eventually you'd have to go through it. That's the thing that I don't understand, though. It's like, you still have to, you still go through it at some point. No, Holium. We're not going to fight a random wild Drowsy. We're going to fight a random bug trainer. Yeah, then if we, like, expand it to, like, the top, like, the top 10, Pixelmon, like, has half of them. But it's no longer the completes that are among, like, the 6 to 10. It's the normal parts. It's when we're facing against a strong boss. What's that mean? And then what's the next one? The new version. So that's the first one that we did with the 1.16, I believe. and I wanted to make a funny joke about it being part 69, but I didn't bother. And then the first of the Oblivion modded playthrough is also among the top 10, which I'm happy for because I love Oblivion. Oblivion's one of my favorite games of all time. It is the game that you will always see me play. I'll probably even play it in 2030, 2040 kind of thing. You'll still see me play it. Because I've been playing it since 2006, and I can still find enjoyment to it. Because there's different ways that I can play it, and plus there's a different challenge that I can think of, oh, what if I just go with the Atronach this time and just have Magicka never regenerate? And I'll go with Imperial because it's the more neutral-ish race to use. And then Nehrim also has one on the top 10, which is interesting because it's part 125. Which always gets me really confused. Are people only finding my Nehrim videos from part 125? For Nehrim? And then they're just not bothering with trying to figure out if I did part 1? Because Nehrim is done. Episode 1 to, I think it's... I know Insurgents and Nehrim ended off on the same part number, and I thought that was really funny. Considering the fact that Insurgents has more sessions. But then again, most of the sessions only had 4 videos. Because I was pressed on time and I had no time to actually go and record. What was it? Sorry about that. Alright. Yeah, I think both of them ended off with 168. Which I thought was really funny, though, because of, as I said, both of them were different levels. Actually, I could find out. Nehrim. Let's see here. 168, yeah. And that's me completing pretty much mostly the entire game, other than little random side stuff like treasure hunting and all that stuff. Yeah. Nobody really expressed any interest in that, even though I was going to... I was actually going to go do it. If I needed to, I was going to use the construction set to find where all the items were located for the different set items, and I was going to use it to my advantage. Thank you, but I think our Holium is very fast. Thank you. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other, obviously, my favorite series, on the channel is gotta be the Oblivion modded playthrough. It has a mod I've been working very hard with for a while now, actually. I think I started with the original mod in... What was it? I think it was the 2016, I think? Was it 2016? No, I think it was 2018, actually. I can find out. Not that hard. I'll just have to go through a long list. Yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out what my first post was and figure out when it was. And then that will tell you pretty much how long I've been working on it, because that's when I had an issue, right? So, let's see here. Can you show me... Is it under here? Yeah. Sort of. Not really. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, it only shows me, like, limited numbers. Yeah. So what if I go with title? No, that doesn't help. Views? No. Yeah, nope. None of these really help. Oh wait, only topics maybe. No, that didn't help either. That just shows me all of them. Ah, that's why. It limited them instead of me actually being able to set it. Okay. Actually, I think I was following it, so it might still be in my follow thing. There we go. January of 2017. So early 2017. I had an issue. Yeah, so January 17th, 2017. It was, I think, like 8 a.m. or something, 7:30 a.m. in my location. And then I was having issues with something. And then I didn't know if I was actually posting it in the right spot either, because I think I put it in technical support, but it might have been construction set. Actually, no, it technically would have been technical support. Oops. I defeated a wild Pokemon by accident. Well, rip that moment then. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm still looking at it. I want to just looking at all of the okay, yeah, okay. Now I'm starting to remember how that whole conversation went. All right, yeah. So like in early 2017, I started constructing the mod very slowly over time. Then by I think it was technically 2020. I think was it 2020, or is it a different time? Maybe it was 2019. I'm not quite sure. Either 2019 or like 2020. I started gradually overhauling it by adding a bunch of extra items and stuff like that. If you've seen Oblivion, technically just any of them, in a sense, anytime that I went to the location, excuse me, or the building in general, you would find out that there was an item called the Mystical Relic. Now, I needed a lot of help with this, because I tried to, well, not I tried, I copied the script for how a different mod does their portable enchanter and spellmaker. And I thought that that would be a really good idea to copy that, so that way, though, like, I know for a fact that at least one thing works, or at least I know that this list works. So I copied it, modified it to where I wanted, but it was only the third option that was the problem. If you do not know how the Mystical Relic works, it works as a portable enchanter, spellmaker, and as a portable unbreakable repair hammer. So it's all three in one. Now, the unbreakable repair hammer was the one that I was having most issues with. And even when people were trying to help me, they were using a different method of doing so. So Oblivion has two different ways of making mods. You can use a external application called OBSE, or I think, what's the construction set version? I think it's CSSE, I think, which is the construction set script extender, I think, which it uses, which allows you to use like the script extender commands as well as the normal ones. And then you can use the normal, you can use normal construction set items too, which is kind of like what I've been using. And I kept trying to tell people, hey, I want to know if it can work for vanilla. Like, I'm more interested in the vanilla than I am more interested in OBSC scripts. And when everybody kept saying, oh, it's only doable in OBSC, I even found a mod that grabbed this script from, I think, an item that's already in Oblivion of something that's unbreakable, and grabbed that and apply it to her hammer through OBSE. Well, that doesn't help me. So I tried asking the person that helps me with my first issue if there was a different way to do it. And now that I am wiser and I know different things, and that I also did it with technically the hood. Does the Dragon Lord have that too, I think? I think he does. Wait. Does the Dragon Lord have it? I don't think so. I know the Dark King does, but does the Dragon Lord have it too, or no? Items, Dragon Lord's hood. Do you have the same thing too? Oh, I also keep all my scripts in Notepad, just for this occasion. So I could look at it without actually needing to load the CS, and then taking forever for CS to load, and then loading my mod, and then having a bunch of issues pop up because it's normal. Alright, Squirty Bottle. Wait. How many Pokeballs do we have? Because I can try catching it. I have 51. Alright, we can catch it. No way we can't. Just gonna be a little bit dangerous if he uses a rock move is all. Oh yeah, so the Dragon Lord does have it. Okay. Yeah, so I want to ask my friend if there's a way that we can simplify this part. because we made it go like, because we made a really long code for it to work with the repair hammer portion of it. Oh, I thought it was gonna stay in. I think I have it. Well, I should technically have it. It does have a rock move? Okay, well, we're just gonna use another Pokeball. Mystical Relic. Yeah, because I'm gonna go and ask him if he can help. If not, I can ask someone else. There was someone else that was helping me out too. He was helping me out with a bunch of the issues that I've been having a lot lately because he has more free time, or I guess he has more free time kind of thing. So he's been able to help me out with a lot of that because, like, typically when I look at a code and I read it and I'm like, I don't see a problem. And I know that's not right because that doesn't make any sense. But literally, when I see a code and I don't see an issue, I'm confused. Like, why am I having issues with this one code? I'm just gonna go speed it up. Alright. Does this disappear? Can we get lucky? Nope. Oh. Wow, we got lucky this time. I forgot to save beforehand, so... we're not going to use the Sudowoodo. It's not going to be useful. But we definitely do need to teleport back. This is why we have Teleflash. Yeah, so I want to find out if this will actually work to... if there's a way that we can condense it. Like, just so it's a little smaller. Just gonna speed it up a little bit. Oops. Went in the grass. Alright. I mean, I can take a few cracks at this and figure out if I can actually do it myself. Like, I have several ideas of how to get it to work. Wait, what's that? Okay, hang on a second. I gotta go look at something. I have it saved up, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. You probably don't need this, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Probably don't need this. Well, there's one that says in here, it says repair. Yeah. So you just need this. I might have to create a dummy script and see if that actually does work. Yeah, might have to go do that. So yeah, so I'll take a few cracks at this. I'll have to keep the original, but take out what I don't need. And see if I can get it to work the way that I want it to. More than likely, it's not going to happen. Yeah, I don't think there's a trainer in there. Okay, let's go to the Pokemon Center here, so that we can come back here as quickly as possible. Who are you? Eh? Oh, I guess you have to go here. I don't remember if we actually did do that on Gold. Probably not. We probably never actually went in the Pokemon Center. Or we skipped the we skipped his sort of like introduction. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'll take a crack at this. I'll have to figure out some time to do it, since I still have to do a bunch of Minecraft stuff. And can you be quiet already, please? Thank you. Yay. Alright, Artemis. Don't get poisoned. Or paralyzed, sorry. Not poisoned, paralyzed. Well, at least, like, pretty much everything in my mod now is working perfectly fine. It's just I want to see if I can condense the mystical relic enough, so though it's a much shorter code, that still works to the same degree. Because there's only 2 instances that the player will ever need to interact with it. And that'll be from their inventory or if they hotkey it, right? So because if you hotkey an item, what happens is that it's almost like you click it in the inventory, but instead of clicking it through the inventory, you're still in the overworld. You're still in, there's no menu, right? So you're skipping a part of that whole dynamic. So that's kind of where what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see, like, can I get it to work? So I'm wondering if I make it into the menu for that, it'll actually work. Hey, did I ever do the thing for that? You can find out through the Dragon Lord, though. Yeah, I'm no longer reading the whole dialogue because we've already done it before. Yes, I have done it. Okay, cool. So I'm sorry, like, if, like, I'm trying to go slow enough so that you guys can read it, but, like, I'm trying to make sure that, like, I'm not too distracted, so it's, like, the same text of dialogue has appeared for, like, 20 seconds. I think I should start buying repels. Okay, we can't do that because we don't have Rock Smash. Yay! Okay, let's just get out of this battle. Alright. Okay. It's night? I mean, in a way, maybe, but not normally. It's still bright outside. Alright. Ghastly. Gust. Actually, you know what? Something I want to find out, and I'm gonna go take a look. Okay, let's see here. Amulet coin. I want to see if we can actually get it. Oops. Hopefully that didn't ruin the recording. I hope it didn't. I clicked once, but apparently it decided to click it everywhere. Let's see here. Goldenrod Underground. Is that where we're supposed to get the Gyarados area? Like, is that the Gyarados area? Probably. It's probably the Gyarados area. Okay, those are all the Pokemon, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It's just a random item on the floor. Okay. That's cool. Alright. How many Ghastlies does this guy have? Because I know the path here is very sensitive, so I'm gonna walk. Okay. 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 Oh. There we go. Okay. No, you won't. You won't win. I'm just trying to take a look at all these everything, so we could probably get a hold of. Alright. Alright, Ghastly. Ghastly. Cust. Yeah, also something that I wanted to mention as well, which will probably be a given, but I wanted to mention it anyway. Every day I check the Nexus to try and see if there's a new quest mod or something like that, or something that might intrigue me enough that I might want to take a look. One thing has, but I don't know what it is right off the bat. Like, it sounds interesting, but just because that it sounds interesting doesn't mean that it is going to be interesting. So I want to see what it is. But again, mostly all I'm trying to look for is quest mods or something that I can do a mod playthrough of. Later on, we will be doing a mod playthrough of... Well, not really mod playthrough, more of a mod showcase kind of thing. Of different house mods that I particularly like. Because they look really nice, or they're really nice looking. Now, this isn't to say, like, all of them are terrible or some of them are better than others. And because of the way that I'm going to do it, I'm going to do them all at one point or all at the same time kind of thing. So which means though that like I'll do 8 videos of like 4 different houses kind of thing. So though I get the long session that I like to record, but not as much. Now these videos are going to be, some are going to be short, some are going to be long, some are going to be just perfect. Of course, the ones that are long obviously are going to be split into shorter parts just to make it easier, but the completes are still going to be a thing. Just that the ones that are short, so let's say a house mod takes like 5 minutes. That will be a part of 2 different playlists. So that way, though, you get to see it in the original playlist that it should be a part of, which will be, of course, the smaller video portion. And then you'll have the complete version, which will still be the same video, because nothing has changed. But that's kind of how I'm going to do it. The reason why I want to do it in this style is because it still caters to what I like to do in terms of my videos. That's the whole reason why for the quest mods in general, the rule of thumb for quest mods is at least I can get 4 videos out of it. If it gets at least 4, it's good enough because it's something. It gives me something to do for an hour, and it gives me something that I can look forward to. If a quest mod takes, let's say, half an hour, it's fine. Like, it's fine. I wouldn't say, like, I'm too, like, I would be angry about it. I would just be a little bit disappointed. Because I was looking forward to having a really long, you know, videos. So, seeing, let's say, a mod take, like, 10 minutes, and it's like, well, that's not cool. Now, I might compare, like, certain house mods to, like, mine. Or to the lodge kind of thing. But a lot of the mods, and I'm going to say this right now, a lot of the mods usually just typically like to give you a house at the beginning that's free. That's all they're there for. I think about 90% of the house mods that you'll probably find, and I literally mean this, about 90% of house mods. This doesn't mean like a quest that leads to the house. This means like just the house mod itself. Usually what happens is that they usually just drop down and give you the house right off the bat. And then they tell you, here's the house. You don't have to pay any gold. You don't have to do any of this. Just use the house. Now, I'm not saying that that's a terrible thing. I'm just saying though, like, a lot of those usually are just, here's a vanilla house that I changed nothing in it. And it's like, okay, but you're going to change something later, right? Then it's like, nope, this mod has been uploaded since 2007 and hasn't been updated since. It's like, oh, okay. Yay. And there are other ones where they're like big castles and stuff like that, and then trying to find the right castle that looks really nice, and you know, like all that kind of stuff though. It's like, man, I can't. So for castles and such, especially in terms of Oblivion, a lot of them try and grab the original Oblivion castles, which there's only really like 2 of them that are okay in my book, that if you were to use them as your castle, for your castle mod, or for just a private castle just for you and your companions, I'd say go for it. Because they're actually really good. The 2 that I am talking about is the Anvil Castle, because it's really nice looking. It's, I don't want to say it's too short. It's because it's not really too short. It's in just a perfect size. And also another cool part is that it's secluded, if that makes sense. Which means that if you were to copy it from where it is and put it into... what I like to do is I like to throw it into its own world space. Like if you were to kind of do that, then it makes sense. Because then by the end of it, like you have as a space that only you can enter. And not only that though, because it is so secluded, you have very little to edit, which is good. Another one that I like is the Skingrad one. Skingrad's castle looks really, really good. The only thing is that the interior is very bare, where there's barely anything in the main lobby area. So maybe try and find a mod, maybe, that kind of tries to outfit it with more stuff inside. Or that tries to at least make it look like it's more of a castle on the inside. Or do it yourself, it doesn't really matter. But like pretty much all that's in the lobby is like, I think 2 guards, the steward. If you haven't done the Mages Guild, there's the Mages Guild guy, or there's an Argonian maid, I think, or something like that, that does his job when he's missing. And and a chair and maybe a table. That's it. And then a really long staircase going up, and then an empty hallway. That's it. And I feel like there's a missed opportunity with the Skingrad Castle. The only thing I have to say though is that if you want to get these, try and grab. I don't know if this mod actually does do that, and it can kind of show you how to do it. But make the castle feel more open. So when you click on the door, instead of having a loading screen appear, have it so the door actually opens up. I think that would be an amazing idea. So that way, like, when you open it, the door opens up and then you see the little courtyard, and then the door that's inside that courtyard area that leads inside the castle, obviously make that into a loading screen. Because if you make too many... And plus, I don't know how the models work in that way either, so it's safer to do that. But for that kind of stuff, yeah, like, I definitely recommend those 2 castles overall. Braville's looks like the town catered more towards the castle than anything else, so the castle looks big and it's like a rectangle, where it's got no discerning features that makes it very interesting. It literally looks like somebody put a box down and said, that's a castle. Leywin, same idea. And it doesn't really look good either when you have two places that are in the southern area close to the swamp in a way that the castles are just so badly looking, and they look like they don't belong. And Chain Halls is, I think, I don't want to say okay, because I looked at all of the castles, and I looked at all the castles because I was trying to figure out if there was a castle in Oblivion that I could use as like a floating castle. So I kept looking for something like that, and I was like, none of these really look good. Like, Anvil's has got a good thing going on, but so does Skingrad, but those are the only two that have something, like, decent looking. And then when you look at, like, Breville's and Leowin's, I just got disgusted at it. They didn't look like a castle at all. It just looked like somebody put a box down. Looks like something I would make in Minecraft and put it down. That's what it looked like, and I was like, doesn't look good. And same thing with Leowin. I think Leowin just has a very odd looking shape going for it. Either it's a box or it's an odd looking box. It's like somebody from Leowin's or Breville's like you could copy my homework, but just change it a little bit. And then Leowin's like, you got it, man. Then they changed it slightly, and it's like, here you go. Like, what? I'm trying to remember. Is there another one? Because I think... Yeah, because Chain Halls was okay. It's just that I just didn't like anything about the area because it was too... Because the courtyard was bigger than the castle itself, which I thought was very odd. So I didn't like it that way because it was just too small. Like, I understand that the courtyard's probably the centerpiece of the castle, or any sort of, like, castle kind of thing. But your courtyard doesn't need to be 3 times the length of your castle. Especially in Oblivion. With, like, nothing going on in there. If you've never been to Chain Hall, or you haven't watched a video of somebody going to Chain Hall, you'll notice that there's nothing there. Because there's, like, nothing going on there. And I was like, wow, that just sucks. So I went to, so I think I went to Bruma. Bruma's is okay, but I think it still has that box-like shape. Which, again, sort of just makes me feel like there's nobody that really bothered too much with the castles that much. And Coral's is also okay. I think Coral is okay. It's just, it's not secluded enough because it's still technically like a part of the town in a way. And I think it's got too many exits, I think. Because there's the main way, and then there's a way you can go in from, or you can leave from the from one of the guard towers. And I'm trying to remember, is there another one? Kvatch is burned down, I think. So you can't technically do that. Although you can download a mod that I think it tries to repair it. And it puts like an accurate, or at least closely accurate to what Kvatch would have looked like. And I think that I did use the mod early, like early in my like a modding days, just to kind of see what Kvatch actually did look like, and I liked it because there was Kvatch, and the Imperial City doesn't have a castle; it just has the White Gold Tower, which even that I don't even like. Was there something else? And then a lot of the castle mods that you find out on the Nexus, they're either too big or they have or they have like their own landscapes, and it's interesting because one of the castle mods I actually liked a lot, and I actually used it. I think I called the mod Castle Trilesia. For that one in particular, that one I liked a lot. But again, it's secluded in a way, and the castle is just, I don't want to say too big, but it's got too many rooms in a weird configuration. That it makes the castle look like, okay, like this is a maze. Why? Why is it a maze? And so it confused me a lot of the times whenever I kept trying to wrap around myself. And the only problem with Castle Trilesia is that I can't bring it to, I can't port it over to Nehrim because it still utilizes a lot of Oblivion's main textures. Wanna know what the problem with that is? Because it uses a lot of Oblivion's main textures, if Nehrim changes it, it changes in my mod too, so that's why for the Dark Kings mod, or what I call the Forgotten Armory pretty much, I have it as standalone. Now there is a reason for this. It's so that I can move it over from Oblivion to Nehrim and then be fine with it. I remember I had problems before, but this was before I went solely into the because this was before I think I made it standalone, or truly standalone, I think, where Oblivion handled Oblivion's textures from the base game, whereas I dealt with all the mod stuff and put them into my mod kind of thing. So I didn't require the original mod, I had all the assets for myself. But now even Oblivion's textures and meshes and all that stuff that I needed, they're all in my mod now. So it's like, why bother now? And because I think I did it that way because I wanted, because I want to be able to port my mod over to Nehrim whenever I really wanted to, so that if I want to do Nehrim again for the channel for good time's sake or something like that, we could bring all the new Dark Kings items kind of thing over to there, or have the Dragon Lord now go do it. And the reason why I know that my mod for the original Dark King's armor didn't work, or how I know that it didn't work originally, was because when I ported it over, Nehrim loaded perfectly fine, but when I tried to force give myself the teleport spell and use it, Nehrim went, "You can't use that spell here." Like, anytime I would cast it, it would be a dead spell, and I was like, that's weird. Why is it that it's acting like it's a dead spell all of a sudden? Like, that's such a strange thing. And if you look at the Nexus forums, I did post my teleport spell just to try and figure out what the solution is, or what the problem, like what the actual problem is. And somebody told me, so pretty much what it does is that when you cast the spell, it triggers two markers. One that moves to the player, so that, so when you cast the spell the first time, it moves one marker towards the player, so that the next time you cast the spell, you get moved to that marker. And then when you click on the other marker, and then it moves you to the other marker, which brings you inside the, brings you to the island, which is usually where we always see me every time I cast the spell. Now, when you cast the spell again, what's supposed to happen is that you can move to the, you're supposed to move to where the marker that you originally used the spell from is. So, and now I found out that it is based off of world spaces that is the issue. So if you use the teleport spell from, let's say, Anvil's world space, so pretty much like if you're out and about walking the streets of Anvil, okay? Anvil's my favorite town in Oblivion, that's why I always like saying Anvil. So when you're walking the streets of Anvil, let's say you're like, oh, I need this rare item from the Dark King's legendary chests because it's a rare artifact that I need. What you're then going to do is you're going to go to... is that you're going to use the spell out in the thing, which is going to be, let's say, a problem. Because let's say you get to the island and the game auto-saves. I don't think it auto-saves there, but let's just say it does. Or let's say that it doesn't crash, nothing happens then. You walk into the building, then it auto-saves because it always auto-saves for me. So let's say it auto-saves at this point. And let's say you go pick up the item, and let's say there's an item in the basement that you need too. Try to load the basement, game crashes. Not a problem. You can just load the game, do everything perfectly fine, and now it works. So now you cast the spell. Because you originally used the spell in a world space, what I believe Oblivion does is that it purges static objects or persistent static objects, or just any static objects, and any activator that was not originally a part of the cell that it is currently in. Because these items are not, I don't want to say native, because they're not naturally supposed to be there, the game treats them as foreign objects of that location and, well, deletes them. But because it deletes them, you have to replace your marker. So what it does is that Oblivion allows you to replace the marker. But remember though, that marker is supposed to bring you back to where you are. So when you replace it, I don't remember how to do this. I don't remember how to do this puzzle. Oh, okay. But yeah, so because like it replaces it and then does that. So I was trying to figure out like why it was doing this. And so I thought that because I was using a static object, I thought that maybe that was the problem. Maybe it treats static objects and activators in a different way. So I tried activator. Still same problem. Now it's just still having that similar issue. So I thought, well, that's very strange. So I asked, well, the first thing I asked was that, is there a difference between a static and an activator being used this way? Didn't get a reply. So meanwhile, I'm flying blind and I just said, you know what? I'm done waiting for people to respond to this simple question. Do they function differently in this sense? You know what? I'm just going to go do it. There's no difference. Why couldn't somebody just say that? So I think I commented and said there's no difference if you change it from a static to an activator. But now I'm still posed with more questions. Why is it not working? And how do I get it to work? So something that actually happened, and that's actually very interesting to mention, is actually this is actually a funny thing. If you download a mod called the Unofficial Oblivion Patch, it now suddenly works with no problems. The game can crash and you can still do it. I thought that was very interesting. So I messaged the Unofficial Oblivion Patch person who worked on it to try and find out how they did it and to find out why it's working. I did enough of the research. I looked through everything that I could, and I couldn't find anything that they did differently than what Oblivion's doing now. So I was very confused. So I was looking through I was looking through everything. I even used a program called TS4 Edit, which tells you a lot of the different codes and such like that. And it gives you a much better look at everything that it's doing. And I checked the differences between Oblivion and unofficial Oblivion patch. It found nothing. So either they did something internally or something else is the matter. And the latest thing that I heard from that actual thing is somebody told me to change it into being a creature. Because if I change it into a creature instead of using a static or any kind of object like that, it will work. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't, because the original mod I grabbed that teleport idea from used, I think it was rats, I think? It was like rats or scamps or something, I can't remember. But they did use creatures for it. And I think it's because they found the similar issue, but when they used creatures, it was fine. And I always thought that it was very strange, though, that they would use creatures for something as simple as that. Why don't you just use a static object? So that's why I used the static object. It's because I thought that they were being weird about throwing that into the mix. And then I was wrong, because you do need creatures in order for it to work perfectly fine. So now that I know that, I don't have a surf mod, do I? Alright, so we have to go back. Hey, can Centrit somehow learn surf? Just for now? I don't even have surf. Oh no. That's not good. I done goofed. But yeah, so I'm still trying to find a little solution for it. Oh, but some extra clarification though, that if you guys are having the same problem as I did with something either similar to that or whatnot, if you go inside a building or structure or whatever, and then use the teleport spell, you're good. The game can crash as many times as it can. You will still be able to teleport safely. And I thought that was a very interesting thing to find. Because I thought that was very interesting. Okay. So yeah, so if you're having issues with stuff like that, just know that it's probably just a world space issue. because I definitely didn't even know that. And when I was trying to collect information to show someone, because I was making short OBS clips of what's going on, I actually discovered that, and I was like, that's very interesting. I did not notice that before. That when you're doing it from an interior, it works perfectly fine. Like, I thought that was very interesting. So when I looked into it further with the world space, I kept getting the same like problems. So I thought that maybe like it was just like a mod conflict or something like that. So the only mod that I had was my animations mod that I used because I like using it. And my mod. Nothing. So I tried adding in, what was the mod? The unofficial Oblivion patches. And then now, no matter what when I do, like, no matter when or where I use it, it now works perfectly fine. And so I was baffled by why it was doing this. So I posted it, man, saying like, whatever Oblivion, whatever the unofficial Oblivion patch is doing, it now works perfectly fine. Like, as I am trying to find out how to get it to work in a similar state. Let's see here if they ever messaged back. I don't think so. The last time I think that they were online was like a few years ago, so they might not even see it. Yeah. Yeah, so here's the message that I said. Hello, I was wondering how in your mod the unofficial Oblivion patch fixes an issue I was experiencing with my teleport spell, and how it interacts with world spaces after saving. More info for my issue, I posted a link of like my issue, right? Like the issue that I was having. I just want to know how it is possible, and if there is a way to implement it to my spell in order for it to work without it, to prevent conflict. So what I mean to prevent conflict is that, so if in the future I want to use their mod with my mod, I don't want it to conflict with a setting, right? So if they set, let's say, a setting to 1, and that's the only way for it to work, I don't want it, in my opinion, to set it to 1 as well, because then it's like, whoa. Inside the game, there's a conflict. Yeah, because let's see, what was the latest one that was posted? Oh yeah, somebody also posted, like, I should check out a different mod, which was engine bug fixes. Yeah, so so they tried it, and I said that I'm wondering if it's world spaces. Yeah, because I was also trying to figure out if it was just world spaces in general that is the issue. I'm wondering if it's world spaces in general that are the issue and the way the marker needs to be loaded back in after a save. And then I said that I checked. Oh, I still have Pseudo-Widow in my inventory. Then again, or in my party. Then again, it's fine. Oh, don't tell me I need serve. Yeah, then I said that then after that I said, just checked unofficial Oblivion patch and the error is gone. Now to find out what changed. And then the last person that says, or the last person that messaged says that this sounds exactly the same problem they had with their mod. Everything's fine until you save your game, quit, and reload. Also, there's extra problems with shifting aisles and other new world spaces. For that guy, it was the fact that activation statics aren't supposed to be moving around. That's the issue. So they aren't totally permanent as at move to positions. Or move to locations. Creatures are supposed to move around, so they go anywhere and they stick. There's a good discussion on this very thing. Oh, there. Oh, okay. So there's a different thing I can take a look at. I think you just need a dummy rat for your markers. Yeah, see, that's what the original person used. Yeah, they're talking about their mod a little bit. And that they have a dummy rat that is a custom mesh, that it is tiny and invisible. I think you could customize a will-o-wisp to work as well. Yeah, what's this one? Let's see here. Yeah. So there's talking about marker creatures. Which are probably just like rats and stuff like that. In order to mark points in the world for recall, a reference marker needs to be moved there. In the past, this has been done with X markers. These seem to have problems when they're moved to world spaces outside of the Tamriel world space. Now, this is happening in Tamriel, though, so that's interesting. Anyway, seems that after quitting and reloading, objects snap back to their original world space. Oh, that's what's happening? While keeping their modified position XYZ coordinates. Apparently, the game engine doesn't really expect statics, doors, etc. to move outside of their original cell. And so the information about their movement is not properly recorded. Oh, so maybe... So maybe what... How do you call it? How do you define it in a way? How do I put it into words without my brain jumbling it all up? So it understands that the static object, or activator, in this case, moves, but it doesn't understand why it moved when the game reloads. So instead, it reverts it back to where it originally is located. Yeah. So I think that should be pretty interesting. So maybe I'll take a look at different creature ones and I'll find out. Okay, so the problem is that I don't know if we can even use surf. Okay. Gonna save 1,000 polka dollars just because. Alright, Flaffy. Actually, I want to find out something. Sorry for the... Wait. Oh, it was the one before this. Okay. So is this one. Sorry, I'm trying to see how we actually got the Gyarados last time. How did I do it? I don't know. I don't even know what I used. So I have 4 Pokemon according to the video, but I'm trying to see how I did it. Oh, I think I know what it is. It is Sentret, isn't it? I think it is Sentret. I'm trying to see like if like at any point I actually ended up showing it off. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I showed it off. Although our Ho is very weaker than what our Lugia is. Which is very interesting. Oh, no, wait. We haven't done the other area yet. That's why. We haven't done the swimmer area yet between the towns. That's why. Sorry, I'm a fool. I completely forgot about that. I'm a fool. I forgot about that. Yeah, we didn't do that area. Mainly because I didn't even know Sentret can learn Surf. And we're going to name this Red Gyarados the same as last time. We named it Ready. So we're going to do the same thing. This one's going to be named Ready as well. Because it is ready to go. That's the joke. Anyway. So I hope we get into a better place in terms of it. Either that or I can... Actually, something else I could do is I could name the Gyarados into what TMs it uses. So, like, let's say it can use, like, Strength, Surf, Cut, like, have, like, like Sears kind of thing or something like that. Like, no, like banana. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time, which was we're not going to go talk to the person at the sign after we catch Red Gyarados. We're going to go do the other stuff, I think. Or unless, do we? Wait, do we actually do it? No, because we haven't done the 5th gym at that point, so I didn't want to do it. That's correct. Alright. And would you believe me if I told you that we're taking the same route that we did before? Like, we're actually using... that we're actually using the same route that we used last time too. The only difference is that we haven't gone through the surf area yet. Alright. Let's go. Alright, let's see how far Gust goes. It shouldn't take it out in one shot. That's good. Let's do it one more time. I don't think we can take it out with a crit, but... oh, red's just perfect. Yeah, because I think the reason why I didn't want to use Luxuria to do it is because I think we gave Luxuria the... what's it called? We gave Luxuria the Sharp Beak. So Gust would do a lot more damage. Okay. Bit scary, but we do have a new move called Recover. Nice. Your turn, pal. You're going to bite. That's a crit. That's actually decent damage. Alright. Pokeball again. It didn't look like I skipped it. Like I went really fast with it. Okay, since I know that it does 40 exactly, and I know it can't take me out with any other hit, I'll throw one more Pokeball just in case. We are faster than it. Keep that in mind. We are faster than this Red Gyarados. Dragon Rage. Wait, so Recover works with half. So we are going to get 67. So we should be at 87. Yep. Leer? Ooh. That might hurt if it tries to bite again. I'm going to go Recover again. I'm going to go full recovery mode. That's not going to do anything, though. Like, you're still going to be doing 40 damage, bud. Like, that's still 40 damage. The only thing is that I can't recover from 2 hits of that. And by that I mean, like if it uses Dragon's Rage twice, my healing from Recover doesn't heal two Dragon's Rages, since I only heal by 67. Yeah, by 67 HP. That's much less than 80. Yeah, I think Luxuria was probably the better Pokemon to kind of throw in here. No. Okay, now we're in... Ooh, okay. Now we're in the danger zone again. But it's fine, because we have Recover! Although we are -2 in defense. Ooh, that's not a good move. Because it ends it with it being confused. What? Come on, game. Cut. There we go. Throw a Pokeball. We're just gonna speed it up. Nope. Is it Thrash that I'm thinking of, or no? Maybe it's not Thrash that I'm thinking of. Oh no, it is. Alright. There we go. Skip. Alright. Let's try it again. This time we're gonna go Super Speedo mode. Seriously? There we go. Cover. Full HP. I'm trying to use Leer. Okay. Just stay in, please. Stay in the bloody Pokeball already. Oh, it's using Thrash again? So early, too. Wow. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Ready for now. There you go. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with Ready for now. Just because we're... I'm used to it, but... yeah, Ready, so Y. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so... Can you teleport us away from here? I don't think I went to the town, so I should probably end up back at the lighthouse town, right? Oh, I did come here? Oh, whoops. Alright, well, I'll backtrack on my own time. Just so that we don't have to end up back here again. Although I could probably just surf, but I'm just going to go through the tunnel again. So, yeah, so... Next time, we'll take on the 5th gym and maybe the 6th gym at the same time. We should have an easier time with the 6th gym, at least this time. So, yeah, so I'll see you guys next time for some more Pokemon Silver.